Should we start?
Yes, warm welcome to you, and a very important topic you're going to present today, which especially in this pandemic times where we have all the chances of getting, for no fault of us, the patient might blame us for something which he might have pointed outside. So it's a very important topic for us, and I request you to kindly proceed with your presentation, sir.
Thank you, Srinivas. Thank you, Praveen. Thanks to all delegates, and very, very good morning. And as rightly said by Srinivas, it is really an important topic during pandemic. Because pandemic time, every dentistry people, every dental surgeon have faced one greatest problem of opening their clinic. And 2 years, we have really suffered a lot because we need to follow the government guidelines also. We need to start our own practice also. Government guidelines says that social distancing is mandatory and we cannot practice without closing or coming closer to the patient. That this conflict has really created a great issues across the country. And this was really a need of the hour. But nevertheless, our dental people have really made a great impact on a society by continuously supporting a society and helping a society, even in such a pandemic situation. But in such a scenario situation, we can't avoid medico-legal aspect because we can't expect that every patient is going to be like that. Today, with my experience of 16,000 issues handling in 16 years, I found that our service has not been respected by patients of youngsters or a new age group. They feel they are the consumer and they are getting a service because they are paying it. Unlike the people who were earlier coming to the doctor, who was having a respect for the doctor, trust on a doctor, used to always remain with the doctor. So today, even if at all we provide all 24/7 services to the people, do their best for the people, still it has not been credited. This is the truth of today. And this has become the norm because if you ask me, 50% population statically in our country is above 25 years age group, below 25 years age group. Around 65% population is below 35 years age group. Means around 80 crore population are the master in internet. These are the people who are always there to trouble us. They are the master in internet because they know what is their rights, how they can really impact by internet to the people. And that's the reason for all smaller cases, they are going to the court of law. I remember in olden days, and about 16 years of my experience in this, there was hardly any case used to come for dental people. I was very happy that these people are absolutely safeguarded by the law or people are not aware of. But today, if you ask me, majority of cases now I am getting in court of law is of dentistry in compared to general practice. And earlier, the tune of compensation was demanded was 2 lakhs and 3 lakhs and 5 lakhs. But today, the demand is of 50 lakhs plus. I've got very recent case last week where this doctor has done implant on a patient for implant. Patient went for implant, and for that, they have given us some supportive system, removing 2 teeth and bridging it. And patient was not happy with the treatment, went to some other doctor. The doctor has said the treatment was absolutely wrong. Instead of this, implant should be the proper procedure. And that caused a pain, agony in the mind of the husband. He returned lots of letter to the institute and finally filed a case of 50 lakhs in court of law, where treatment amount he spent was only around 25,000. Just imagine that 25,000 investment and demand is of 50 lakhs. I remember 6 months back or a year back, I got a case of Bangalore where for removal of tooth, adjacent tooth was having a curve, probably could not able to remove and that remained piece was remained. The person has complained and asked for the compensation of 10 lakh rupees. So nowadays, in any court of law, these are the things which is very common. Friends, nevertheless, these are going to be there because we are in changing world. We need to accept the change. But at the same time, it becomes very important when worlds are changing, we also need to change. Rather, in the domain of education, my indication towards the upgrading the knowledge of a law. Because if at all we wanted to safeguard ourselves, the only defense which I have understood in last 16 years, which every doctor, including dentistry, has got, is of educating themselves in medical law. I don't say that. It is said by many of the greatest people in the world, including Bhagwan Gautam Buddha, who said, ignorance is the cause of suffering. If you really want to cease the suffering, replace ignorance with the knowledge. Friend, the moment you praise your ignorance with the knowledge, people or anti-social activists or opportunistics cannot trouble you. We suffer because we are not having a knowledge that what we can defend and how we can defend. I'll give an example to make you understand. There was a couple who went to this dentist for the treatment, not happy with the treatment. They, after a week, they went to this particular doctor, asked for all IPD paper, OPD paper, and the X-ray which he has taken in his clinic, and alleged him in a clinic that you being a BDS doctor cannot report it when the radiographer are available under your domain of post-graduation degree. And since you are reporting, it is a sheer negligence, and I'm going to sue you, and demanded a money from that guy. This is the commonest thing. I'll tell you, every BDS doctor has got an X-ray machine for their benefit and society's benefit and the patient's benefit, which they do take out X-ray because then the only the answer to the treatment is going to be the exact finding through the radiograph. But people are still filing a cases for that. If I talk about medical record, my experience with the dental people, I tell you, is not very good because they are the most poorest people in making a medical record. For majority of procedure, I have seen that they don't take a consent. And when I ask them, when the matter comes to the court of law, when I demand them about the medical record and paper, they say, sir, the tooth extraction ke liye, why we should take a consent? For the smaller procedure of tooth cleaning, why we take a consent? For smaller procedure like bridging, why we should take a consent? I said, this is not the law. Law definitely talks about the consent in the form of implied oral consent when you are treating a patient, not touching the body of the patient. But law says the moment you are going to touch the body, you are going to do a procedure on a patient, then it's mandate on you to take a written consent, which is known as express consent. Friend, lots of issues are there in dentistry, but I'll definitely tell you one greatest thing in medical practice, that knowledge is going to save you a lot. Today, I'm here to share my experiences with you all people when I relate all the medical law in respect to the dentistry. My aim and ambition is to just educate a doctor so that they can themselves can handle the case and people cannot extort the money from them by threatening them, by troubling them. Because I've seen not knowing the law is really a troublesome for the doctor. Before I start sharing my experience of law, let me give one more case to you to understand about how people are being extorted money when they are unaware about the law or not having a knowledge about the law. It's not a case of dentistry. It is a case of a medico-legal complaint in respect to MD physician, but it can happen with MLC. It can happen with the dentistry also because medico-legal complaint is an inbuilt part of medical practice of dentistry because many of the accidental cases do come to dentistry people. The fight between or accident and the tooth broken people do come to the dentistry, and definitely our dental people need to do medical legal complaint, which I don't know how many people does it or they do it. MLC, I have already spoken for IDA for 1 hour only in respect to the medical legal complaint, but I'm just giving a touch upon on MLC, how unaware about the fact has brought this doctor in trouble, who has admitted a patient of a poison, done a stomach wash, patient was stable, instructed RMO to do MLC. Doctor went, RMO has not done MLC, may have got influenced by the patient or relative. 6 o'clock, patient suddenly deteriorated and died. Doctor asked for the postmortem, but yet in his mind, it was already flickering that I have not done MLC. In view of the same, he called some friend. He said, it is a serious crime. Why don't you contact advocate? He contacted advocate. Advocates are not aware about the smaller section which they are not routinely looking to. Advocates are master in rape case, they are master in murder case, they are master in maramari cases and other cases. But the cases which they are not seen, they also need to refer a books. Same happens with the doctor also. 10 years later, if you go to gynecologist and ask for reading of any ECG, probably she'll not be able to read a ECG because she is more in gynec practice than the medicine practice. Same happened with this doctor. When he called advocate, advocate said, sir, 2-3 days you don't be in a city. Send 1 lakh rupees. I'll go for anticipatory bail tomorrow. I'll take anticipatory bail. Then you come to Citibank. Fearing with a wrong done and on a guidance of expert who is advocate, he ran away out of the city, sent a lakh rupees to this doctor who has planned to file anticipatory. Next day morning, when I got a case through some people, he called me. Being continuously in this field since I was aware about MLC and its impacts, I told this doctor to please come back. You already spent a lakh rupees, which was not needed. You're not going to get arrested. Even if you have missed it, at least go and inform. And even if at all you are booked under the crime, the section is not very, very serious. The section of IPC 176 says not informing public authority will attract 1,000 rupees penalty or 1 month punishment being a bailable offense. So when it is bailable, there's no question of arrest. So why lakh rupees is spent when 1,000 is the final outcome after 5 years? I am not saying that you should also not do MLC. I say that because this is but MLC section, if attached with all other sections, become more critical. Like if it has been read with 201 wiping of evidence of a crime or with the main crime, then it is going to be troublesome. My friend, MLC is a mandate part in medical law practice or medical practice. So whenever you get any patient with a history of accident, it is your responsibility to inform administrative authority. That is the job of administrative authority, that is the police officer, to investigate, to find out how this accident or injury happened, not your job. Your job is to intimate, that's all. So that is the domain of MLC. And this helped the doctor only because of the sharing of law knowledge.